Hello, folks. So I get a few emails and questions about alternative sources for like lower quantity Moebius lubrication sources, and I decided a few months back to shop on eBay just to see if I can find anybody who was distributing them in smaller bottles, and I found one by Flow Hood Sensei who sells multiple Moebius lubricants and oils and greases, and he sells like 2 milliliter or different size bottles, but I see a lot of 2 milliliter, at least when I bought this one. Now, this is Moebius 9501, which is a blue synthetic grease. This is listed as 2 milliliter, and I think at the time I paid 15. I think his prices went up. I think he's like almost 17 now. For the same bottle, and I'd have to go. I thought that's what I recently seen, and as you can tell, he's not just buying this about 3 months ago. He's not selling the freshest stuff, so he's obviously buying the Moebius lubricants and greases, and he's distributing in these tiny bottles, which you can buy these bottles anywhere. They're probably made possibly in China or other lab sources, and you can buy like probably bulk of these. So I'm going to cover my recommendation because after doing an analysis of what you got to see if I can find a less expensive alternative for home hobbyists, because home hobbyists run into a couple situations. One, they're not doing it like professional watchmakers who are, chewing through the lubricants and grease, the grease and oils before the expiration date, and cost is not a concern because they're making money as a business to do customer watches for maintenance. So for home hobbyists, they have obviously cost as a concern because these Moebius lubricants, even in their default small bottles that you get from like Esslinger or Jules Boral or Otto Free, is they're small, but they're not as small as this. So 9.5, like 90-10 is your stable. Now the 90-10 bottle is a full bottle that you'd get if you bought it from them, and it would be bigger than this and a little bit bigger than this, and it would, you'd get a fresher, obviously a fresher, at least from the date on this, you'd get a fresher date, which is something you want to pay attention to when you're buying from a lot of these watch houses, to make sure you're not getting something that sat on the shelf for a couple of years before it's sold, because they do expire. Synthetics, usually Moebius synthetics, I believe, have around a 5-year shelf life, and as you can imagine, their mineral-based ones, like their greases, they have, it seems like, around a 2-year from what I can tell. So getting them as fresh as possible should be a priority. So I thought I would try this out to see if I could find an alternative. This is what I got. It was basically like a residue on the bottle. I cannot recommend this seller because during some discussion, he found out that I had a YouTube channel, and he told me he was going to send me a whole different samples of this and different lubricants. And I said, fine, I'll do a review on it. And so this is not a biased a review against him or what he's doing, but my opinion is, for the amount of money you're spending here, you're better off just buying from Esslinger or Otto or, those other places I recommended, the watch house supply houses, to buy the full bottles. And maybe if you think you're not going to use it, just go ahead and source out these bottles, which are pretty cheap. You could buy probably a lot of them of 50 or 25 or 100, and you could go on to the watchmaker forums, Watchmakers Helping Watchmakers on Facebook and other sites, and offer maybe a larger amount, a little bit more of an amount for maybe the same price or a little bit less, and that would make that person happy because they only need a small amount as a home hobbyist to get them through to carry them through for a year or two, and they would be happy, and you'd be happy because you're not worried about yours expiring and you're recouping some of your money back. So I just don't think the amount that he put in this bottle is worthwhile. I mean, yeah, it could be 2 milliliters. I haven't exactly measured out, but it's basically like a residue on the bottle. And the fact that he did tell me he was going to send me more for samples for this video and never followed through and he's selling nearly expired lubricants for now. He's, like I said, he's upped his price. I think I said that. He's upped his price. He's about $17 for this bottle, and I haven't looked, but maybe he's increased for his other ones. I just cannot recommend this seller on eBay. So again, if you can find this on maybe like Watchmakers Helping Watchmakers that has they're selling a little bit more quantity. You know, if this bottle was like a quarter full, even, I think it might be a little bit worth it. But this is just a smear. It's like a residue if you look at it. It's yes. Could you do like 10 or 15 or 20 watches out of this? Yes, because you're not using a lot. You're just putting on the tip of an oiler, and you're doing it for you're using 9501 for the, canyon and pinion and the keyless work. So you're not, this little residue would last quite a while. But doing the math, I just can't, I cannot justify this, and the fact that he's selling a nearly expired lubricant. So again, he is Flo Hood Sensei. You can check him out and make your own, form your own opinion if you want to buy from him. I'm trying to be unbiased as much as possible, but I'm only human. But just based on my experience, I cannot recommend him as a source for lower cost options for home hobbyist. I would, for me, I would just go ahead and buy the full bottle, and then get out in the community and maybe buy these bottles and say, hey, help the other community members out and give them as much as I can justify out of each bottle and charge as little as possible. And I'm not out to make a buck. I'd rather just help the community watchmakers. I'm not out for profit. So, but you make the decision based on, your findings. Okay, thanks, and have a good day.